I'm 6 and I stare at the dead bear pelt on my uncle's damp basement wall, sticking my tiny fingers in its half-open mouth. Its tongue is hard and that doesn't really feel right to me. I hate the leather couches because they're cold and they stick to my butt cheeks, and the men are watching football on TV and I sit there feeling sorry for the bear in my butt cheeks. Later that day, I accidentally drive a tiny four-wheeler off the retaining wall and smash my head on the garden rocks below. My aunt gets a bag of frozen peas for my head, and I hate peas, but I don't say anything because my head hurts like I just smashed it on a bunch of rocks after driving a four-wheeler off a wall. If we search back, I think we can find that all the signs were there. I mean, how I would grow up to be a dyke. Think about it. The bear pelt splayed on the wall with its hard plastic tongue. The men that stank of beer and cheese. The bag of peas is probably the most gay thing about it. I mean, what isn't gay about a bag of peas or a 6-year-old crying on a slab of cement? Or maybe it was all a sign of transness. How my uncle handed me a bag of nail polish and I thought that was stupid. And maybe the bear's mouth was just the first set of teeth. Or maybe the trans part was the tiny four-wheeler. When I think about being non-binary, I can't help but just think all these little four-wheelers feeling all fucked up about their genders. Maybe the trans part was the leather on my butt cheeks, or a beer spilled down my 6-year-old shirt and across my flat chest, and maybe, ever since that moment, I've wanted both a flat chest and an old man to pour alcohol on me. Or maybe it was the bear. It had to have been the bear. Just skin and hair, no body, what a way to be a trophy. For the boy to take not just your underwear, but your entire insides. How then, without a scalp, each rock pressed into your dripping head, how reddened you became when the boy touched you a decade later in another cold basement, the TV on, the wood stove eating pellets, and the men upstairs arguing. The rape must have been the most trans part about it. But how could you have known that when you were 6 and putting your fingers in the bear's mouth? After all, the bear was dead and stapled to the wall. After all, they gave you a bag of peas and you healed, and you should have healed by now. And maybe that's the trans part, where you never heal, but just walk into the sliding glass door again and again, thudding your pulpy red forehead against the glass, waiting for the men to shut off the game and see if you're okay. You smash your forehead, and the men watch, and they pet the bear, and you put the frozen peas one by one into your mouth until you can't help but feel full.